Hello, everyone. Yeah, sorry for the delay, but we are so back because today is going to be the review of the NECA 24-inch long Godzilla 2014 figure. I won't start with any box because, well, obviously I don't have the box. I got this thing used. Here is a picture of the box, pretty generic at the time. This is before the NECA boxes got way better. Originally, they looked something like, as an example here, it doesn't have the card, but something like this. You get the card and stuff. They ultimately really kind of suck, and they take up a lot of space, and they're just kind of trash. It's not like the original Ultimate type of boxes. But, yeah, other than that, a few other things I'm going to answer. Besides just the main one, whether or not this figure is worth it. The Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire Playmates reviews, will be uploaded soon. I just finished editing Shimo's part, so now I'm going to move on to Godzilla, the comparisons, and then the final verdict. So, yeah, other than that, is this figure worth it? Especially with nowadays, since NECA does not own the license, and since NECA does not own the license to Godzilla anymore, this figure has probably skyrocketed in price. I'll probably put a photo up here right now. He has probably gone to like the $200 or something range, almost as much as Monster Arts nowadays. So is this figure worth buying in the modern day? So, which I will tell you in this video right now. Okay, now, let's start off with something simple, and that is the paint and the sculpt. The painting and the sculpting of this beautiful, beautiful figure is absolutely amazing. I know it's just a giant upscale of the 2014 figure, but there's a lot more here that is added. First of all, let's look at the eyes. Look at those eyes. Originally, the original Godzilla NECA 2014, which I don't have the original, I have the reissue, but originally they weren't like this lizard-like eye. Yes, I'm shaking because I'm holding my iPad with one hand. And as you can see, but yeah, they look more lizard-like. And they also look a little bigger than I imagined. Another thing, too, I want to mention is the only thing that's kind of weird is there's like a weird gap in the teeth, in the upper teeth. It looks a little bit strange to me, but ultimately, other than that, it looks absolutely amazing. The teeth the tongue as well, and the inside of the mouth, very nicely painted and sculpted. Now, does he look nice looking straight? I mean, that's up for debate. But otherwise, he looks really good. I love the little gills here, which the Monster Arts figure does not have. Of course, a lot of nice details on the body. And weirdly enough, there's like this green hue to it. I don't know if or like a bluish. For me, it's like a green hue. But it's like very subtle, per se. So, yeah. It looks a little weird. But man, just look at the detail, like the scales and everything. The nails are, black, which are painted black, same with the toenails, which is actually the inspiration I used for my NECA, well, not my NECA, the Jakks Pacific Godzilla 2019 figure I customized. Other than that, but yeah, you see there the green, bluish hue there on the thighs, on the body. It's very subtle. If I turn off the lights, you can kind of see it. Yeah, it's more evident if I turn off the lights, but as you see, it's very much like a greenish hue. I don't know what else is there to say in terms of detail, other than it looks really good. The color obviously is very different from that of the 6-inch figure. Of course, with the green hue and all, and the different types of paint on the eyes. But the main thing, too, as well, is the tail. this tail here, I will go over in articulation, originally was not a ball joint. So the fact that it is and also looks really, really nice is just amazing, is just awesome and really cool to me. Obviously, you're going to need a bunch of shelf space because this thing is absolutely massive. But yeah, overall, I really like the detail of this guy. Very eye-catching, and for something that's kind of budget-related, it's really good. In terms of complaints, the back can kind of reveal a lot of gaps, similar to a Monster Arts figure, but otherwise, it's not really a big deal, and ultimately, it looks really cool. Now, in terms of accessories, this guy does not come with an accessory. Unfortunately, maybe like Atomic Breath piece would have been cool, but it's already done now. But he does have a cool feature. There is if I'm going to point it right here, there is a gap right here. And what this is basically a roaring feature. I did not expect that to kind of glitch. Maybe the batteries are dead. I might need to change the batteries. Oh no! But anyway, other than that weird glitchy, okay, never mind. Weird glitchy roar, that is really loud. I will say that. Not as loud as my voice, but it is really, really loud. And if you want to know where the battery compartments are in more detail, there's the batteries. I do not know what the brand of these batteries are. So if someone could tell me in the comments below, please do. I do not know the batteries of this figure, but other than that, yeah, there's a nice roaring feature. That's actually really cool. And it just looks really, really cool with a roaring feature. Of course, there's a probable chance that, this thing doesn't work. It might not work. Then again, mine has been just sitting on a shelf for the whole time. But other than that, it's a great figure. Now, what about weight and heft? Yeah, this guy is heavy. This guy is a real chunky boy. Right now, as you see, you can see, this guy is really, really chunky. Compared to like the 2019 Jack Specific figure or the 2021 Playmates figure, this figure is extremely heavy. Compared to those feel like light work. This is a workout right there. So let's move on to the articulation. Now, articulation on this guy is really impressive. And I will say it improved on some aspects of the 6-inch 2014 figure, such as the tail, but also stuff like the back and the legs. So let's start off with the head. The head is on a barbell joint. He can look up. He can look up this far, and he can look down this far. Plus, with the added neck movement that does not restrict the figure, he can look real good. Right there, side to side. You can get some real nice profiles. He has a barbell joint as well for the arms that can go a whole swivel here. And they can do somewhat of a butterfly joint, but they're so tight that it makes it kind of hard. Oh, man. No bicep swivel, unfortunately. He has a very deep bend and a ball joint that at the hand that does not feel really strange. So you can get him into some really cool poses. Moving on to the upper body, as you see, as well as on the barbell joint. And look at that. Unlike, again, the 6-inch figure, the 6-inch figure was very restrictive a little bit. This one, yeah, there we go. Very nice poses. And then, moving on to the legs, also really hard. Same thing. However, if you want to take care of the gap, you just simply, oh man. you simply, there's a barbell joint here, so you can kind of fix it. But as you see on off camera, this thing is so damn big that ultimately I could barely get him to actually do it. Oh man. Yeah, you get the thing. There's a joint here basically, as you saw right there. What else? He has a very nice knee articulation. Good lord. And he has a ball joint at the ankle, which is super tight. So it's super, super tight, man. And then, of course, he has a ball jointed tail compared to the NECA, which only has ball joints here. He only has ball joints here. And, of course, just a bendy wire throughout. Here, it's a full-blown ball jointed tail. Look at that. No, I didn't really show it that much, but yeah, posability on this guy is good. Yes, it's a bit stiff, but it definitely improves on, you know, the actual 6-inch figure in terms of articulation. And overall, he looks really impressive. And of course, how can I mention, this tail comes out right out of the box. You just have to hair dry and stuff, and then boom, you're done. I wouldn't suggest putting this thing through hot water because obviously the electronics and everything. So yeah, let's move on to size comparisons. Good lord, this guy is absolutely massive. For size, in comparison, this guy is almost 10 inches. Well, almost 10 inches, but roughly he's almost 12 inches. 12 inches tall, and he is so close to becoming 24 inches long. He is absolutely massive. So this guy is going to be requiring a ton of shelf space. But of course you can manage with the ball jointed tail. Now in comparison, here he is with, of course, the other mentioned other figures, the Jakks Pacific Godzilla 2019, which this guy standing upright, he is smaller, funnily enough. And as you see, of course, a lot of details. But of course as well, I got inspiration of the black claws, as you could hopefully see right there. And then I did the black toenails as well. And then another figure comparison. This guy is kind of difficult to manage. Here is the Playmates Heat Ray Godzilla, who is very tall. He was very, very tall. And, of course, makes lights and sounds. Watch this. Yeah, this guy is also really good, too. This figure I like more than the actual other Godzilla release. It was the other Playmates 11-inch Godzilla. This one's like a 13 inches, but it's worth the price. All right, now let's move on to the final verdict. So, overall, is this figure worth buying nowadays? I'd say so. I feel like, you know, despite the high prices, I feel like you could find this guy for roughly a decent price. The details and everything about it is really good, as expected from this figure. But also the added upgrades, like the roaring effect and the ball jointed tail, really make this guy stand out. Besides just being probably known as just an upscale of the 2014 figure. The green hue I could probably not care about. There is some inaccuracies like the underbelly and everything, but it's not terrible and it's not too noticeable. Just overall, the figure is an impressive figure. I love the details. I love the paint. I love the sculpt. I love the little roaring effect. I know this is a figure I not bring out of the shelf often, but if you get this guy and photograph it right, oh my gosh, this thing looks absolutely insane. You get some real cool shots, and you get to see how massive this figure is. Which maybe instead of doing, a photo op, I might as well do a stop motion with him because this figure is so cool. So yeah, overall, I definitely recommend him. I don't know if he's going for a lot of money, but if you could find him for a good price, yeah, I definitely say get him. We don't really get that many articulated Godzilla figures that are this size. They're mainly either 6 inches, and then whenever we get like a giant Godzilla toy or figure, it's more or less just a toy. We of course I mentioned the Jakks Pacific and the Playmates figures, but there also is a couple of others like the original. There's a couple of others that are also probably just as big as this, but except they're like more like toys. This, I feel like, I hope we see more of this. I hope we see like a giant sort of Godzilla figure here. And I know there is the Mezco Godzilla, but that thing is so out of budget for a lot of collectors. I don't know. It's so out of budget. That's all I gotta say. That figure is so out of budget. I don't know how any of us are gonna pay for it. So yeah, that's it for the review. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.